Where is David Tim with the CID? Is he here?
And you know what? I don't think they're actually speaking anyway.
Okay. They're not, okay.
I guess it's PI over.
Okay, yeah, you can go ahead and introduce. We'll actually, for the transition, we'll have the or just introduce the next one, so, but you're welcome to introduce wherever you like to start. Do you want me to leave this up there?
These three here. That's not. Then I have two more. You want us to go somewhere? Well, yeah,
Stand in the background, the white. Yeah, I'm sure I think you would go backwards, try to get her. I don't ever, I thought about it when I was. Good old Marshall.
By the way, I didn't mean to. There was that one. Yeah. Where were you?
Wherever, I don't know. We're waiting on one more, right? We're waiting on one more, right? Okay. We're waiting for one more.
Is Renee gonna make it?
She said she was gonna be here at 10:31.
Come on in. We good? Let the minister get set up. You ready? Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming out this morning to be a part of the press conference for Operation Lights Out. I have with me on the stage today the agencies. We have GBI Supervisory Agent in charge, Brian Johnston, our district attorney, Don Kelly. We also have Army CID Special Supervisory Agent, David E. Tim. We'll get into the crux of the matter for the press conference. The Muskogee County Sheriff's Office, along with the Georgia Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, conducted a very successful 4-day operation titled Operation Lights Out. During April 25th through the 28th, Operation Lights Out led to 19 individuals being arrested, ranging from 21 to 68 years of age. This was a coordinated, collaborative effort between 12 law enforcement agencies. This operation focused on people engaged in sexually explicit communication with children on the internet who arranged to engage in sex with a child and to travel for the purpose of having sex. This operation targeted those willing to exploit children by purchasing sex with a minor. Online child predators use social media and websites on the internet to seek children to engage in conversation, to introduce them to sexual content, and arrange a meeting for the purpose of engaging in sex with a child. These sick predators targeted both boys and girls. Our efforts to bring an end to predators targeting children will not stop until they stop preying on our children. We shared with you a list of all the names of those arrested during Operation Lights Out. This will not be our last coordinated effort on human trafficking. I do want to plead with the parents to closely monitor your children to ensure that they are not communicating with these individuals who are preying on them. These predators will travel from near and far to victimize your children. We all take these crimes very seriously, very serious, and if you would, focus on your children, because it will be our focus to find these predators and to bring them to justice so that they may be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I'll be turning the podium over to Brian Johnson, GBI Supervisor Agent in charge.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Good morning. As the Sheriff said, my name is Brian Johnston. I'm with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the Special Agent in charge of the Child Exploitation Computer Crimes Unit with the GBI. So with that, I am also the commander of Georgia's Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force. So this operation and many of the operations we've done in the past is not just a GBI operation. We cannot do this alone. We have a very robust Crimes Against Children's Task Force here in Georgia, and we're very proud of it, and we're very honored to be able to be the host agency for that. But the real work comes with the boots on the ground operations like Operation Lights Out. When we have an affiliate agency like the Muskogee County Sheriff's Office that prioritizes crimes against children in their jurisdiction, that is exactly what we're looking for as a task force when we go to an operation like this. The support that we collaborated on and received as a team and as a task force in this operation was just absolutely outstanding. I can't say enough about the collaboration and the team efforts it takes to protect the children in our community. So I want to talk just very briefly about the Georgia Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force and what we do. Last calendar year, we received about 32,000 cyber tips from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So a lot of our time is involved in triaging those tips and sending those investigations out to our local law enforcement agencies to hit the ground and find these bad perpetrators. That's called reacting. We are reacting to something that has already happened. And believe it or not, there's a lot of those cases here in Georgia, and we do our very best to stay on top of that. We initiated over 2,200 investigations last calendar year, and we arrested 579 perpetrators last calendar year. So we're very proud of the collaboration with the Muskogee County Sheriff's Office and all of our affiliate agencies in Georgia for that. What we did this past week in Operation Lights Out, we call a proactive investigation. Okay, actually, there were no children at harm at all in this, except for the fact that had we not been there as law enforcement working in an undercover capacity, these very same perpetrators that were arrested would have been talking to our children in our community. And they would have been talking about sexual acts and meeting up for sexual acts and exchanging pornography on the internet and paying for sex and things of that nature. So in these proactive investigations, even though we don't put any child at harm, we feel like we are doing a very good job for the community in identifying those that want to go after our children. So with that, I would like to thank the Sheriff's Office here, the District Attorney's Office here, all of our partners in the Georgia ICAC Task Force that make this happen. It's quite a large operation. Anytime you do something multiple times, and we had 19 arrests in this case, you got to have your ducks in a row in order to make it happen. Very briefly, and then I'm going to turn it over, I want to introduce some of my agency members that really helped to coordinate this operation. ASAC Deanna Jury here, she is the Assistant Commander for the Georgia's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. Special Agent Jesse Brannon has just a wealth of experience in child exploitation investigation and was a tremendous asset in this. And then Special Agent Will Montgomery, also just a huge resource here. So I want to recognize them and thank them, because without them and the rest of this, the collaboration of law enforcement, this could not happen. So I'll be quiet now and turn it over. I want to introduce the Chattahoochee Judicial Circuit District Attorney, Don Kelly.
Thank you. Good morning. This is an operation, unlike many of the cases that we work, this is an operation that we were involved from the early stages. And an operation like this takes months to prepare before we can go forward and have a successful operation. 16 of the individuals who were arrested over the weekend went to court for their preliminary hearing on Monday. The other 3 went this morning. I do not know the results of the hearings this morning. I know that on Monday, all 16 individuals, the judge found that we had probable cause to continue the charges against them, and each of them was held without bond. We would expect, obviously, we take these crimes very seriously. Protecting our children from these kinds of predators is one of the most important things that we can do, both as law enforcement and as prosecutors. That's one of the main reasons we exist, is to protect our children. We will prosecute these cases to the fullest extent of the law. They are very serious charges, and we will prosecute them as such. I'll turn it back over to the sheriff.
I just want to address also that it takes collaboration to have these type of events to be a successful event. I can't thank the Georgia Internet Crimes Against Children through the GBI for their collaborative efforts, them doing a lot of the legwork in this. I want to also thank our collaborative intelligence group and our special operations unit and other parts of the Sheriff's Office to help make this event a successful event. And I have to talk about that being able to save a lot of kids from trauma. That when I think about these things, and I had to write a script for myself, because sometimes when I come off script that it shows a passion side of me that sometimes may get me in trouble, but it takes a sick individual to want to take away a right that a child has, and the freedom and the safety and the comfort that a child has to bring harm to these children. And for individuals, grown-ups, to travel from far away and even near to satisfy themselves to rob our children of their freedom and their comfort. And I can't stress enough for the parents, please monitor your children and what they do on the computers. It's okay to be a nosy parent. If your kids' doors are closed and they're on a computer, you pay that bill. Know who they're speaking with, because we're not going to stop until they stop preying on our kids. And with that being said, we'll take any questions that you may have. You will all be given or emailed a press release detailing a lot more than what we said, with the names of the individuals along with the photos. You may recognize some of the individuals there. If you do, we would be more than happy to speak with you about that. But if you have any questions at this time, we'll open up that to the media.
Sheriff Countryman,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
had said that this all happened over this weekend. You said that it took months kind of to prepare this. When exactly did this kind of come into play where everybody said, okay, let's begin?
Well, we actually started meeting with the GBI and the Georgia Internet Crimes Against Children Unit months back to actually plan this type of event. Anytime that we do these type of events, we want to make sure that we have the right people, to make sure that we understand the who, the what, the when, the how, the time, to be able to piece these cases together. Because that's what the collaborative piece of it does, because when we present these to the district attorney, we can't do anything unless we have the proper evidence to make the district attorney's job easy and successful for them to prosecute these individuals. So we've been planning for this for a long time.
And now, were you guys the ones facilitating the conversations between the individuals?
It's a great question. I forgot to introduce one of our most important persons up here. I'm so sorry you snuck up on me. This is Special Agent Tricia Cannon, and she also was very instrumental in planning this operation. Yes, so through the resources we have as the Georgia Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force, we have a program in place that's called the Undercover Chat Investigations. And so we train all of the affiliate members of our task force on how to operate in an undercover capacity on the internet, and which anybody can do, but we train on how to do it in a manner where we can actually prosecute cases. And so yes, the folks that were involved in this operation that we're chatting were all law enforcement officers throughout the different agencies that participated. We bring them in from all over the state and swear them in here, and they go to work, but they're trained specifically on how to do this the proper way.
And now, so the question would be, what apps or what sources of technology were you guys using? Were you guys on Instagram, dating apps, or just kind of scrolling the internet?
Yeah, how much time do we have? No, very good question. All of the above. We're not necessarily doing deep dives into the dark web when we do something like this. These are publicly shared applications and messaging applications and social media sites that probably most everyone in this room would use on a legitimate basis every day. And then we have some of the dating websites that are more particular to certain types of folks. But all of them are something that, that people access. And unfortunately, there's a lot of bad characters that access these same acts for the specific purpose of targeting vulnerable children.
Go ahead. Was there anything in the conversations between all the individuals that were arrested that they, I guess, kind of all did the same way? Was there anything they said that kind of unctioned them to be a person of interest, or was it just the unpacking of the conversation as a whole?
No, it's pretty much the conversation as a whole, and I'm not going to get into the investigative standards and rules that we go by, because I don't want to tip my hat to any of those folks that still want to try to do this. Let you know we're out there and we're going to catch you. So I don't want to give away all of our tricks, but we ensure from our position that we are not leading them into this, that they have an opportunity to disengage, and we also make sure that they have absolutely no doubt that who they are communicating with is a child, or at least whom they believe is a child.
Question for you. So, in these conversations, are the suspects actively aware when they first message the individual that they are an underage minor? And also, how do you go about choosing somebody to pursue a conversation with?
I got your first part. I did not hear your second part. I'm sorry.
How do you choose who to pursue in these conversations, or how do you decide? Do they message you first? Do you message them first?
Well, they're the ones that make the decision. No, they're the ones that are reaching out to our undercover investigators who are on the internet as a child. So they're the ones that are steering the conversations. They are the ones that are leading it into a sexualized conversations, and they're the ones that have offered either to pay money for sex or whatever the circumstances may be. That is something that's directed by the perpetrators on this.
And they're actively aware from the get-go that the person they are supposedly interacting with is an underage minor.
That's correct, yes.
Another question for you. I saw that when you were looking for the people that you guys arrested, a lot of them were from Alabama area, but I think there was maybe one or two who were a bit further out. So was it a genuine population search you guys were looking for, or just kind of?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, a lot of the social media applications and different things that we use kind of geopopulate back to different areas sometimes when you use them, but I miss the internet. So I mean, we were talking to people all over the place. So we don't really, if they're willing to travel for the purposes of having sexual contact with a child, we'll wait on them to get here. Because we want to identify that person and hold them accountable. And whether they come from down the street or from 6 counties over, we want that perpetrator to be identified so they're not trying to manipulate our children into harmful things.
And just for clarification, everyone who did travel ended up in Muskogee County to be arrested, correct?
Yes, all the arrests were in Muskogee County. That is correct.
I noticed that a couple had ICE detainer on the charges that listed. Do you know how many people were charged with that specific charge?
So far, there are 3. 3 of those arrested in our operation had illegal alien status, and the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, they're partners with us in this mission, as well as Homeland Security investigations, and they were out here with us during this operation. So they're following up on all the specific details of that to ensure that all that is handled properly.
And was there anything out of the ordinary that happened during this operation?
Well, that's kind of a trick question because in my mind, there is nothing ordinary about any of this activity. I've been doing this for law enforcement for 30 years, and specifically in this realm of law enforcement for about 15 of those. And every day I am amazed at the sickness that's out there from these types of individuals. So I could tell you some stories, but this wouldn't be the appropriate venue for it. But no, as far as operations go, we kind of see it all, and we kind of saw it all in this one as well.
So are we able to know, as far as the children that were involved in this, the age range as well as how many?
Well, and there again, I'm not going to talk specifics on that, but I will say this, that we don't play in gray areas. When you charge someone with an offense like this, it's a serious charge. And we're very serious before we take this charge. So we're not playing in the gray areas of age. The ages that we used in this operation were well within the legal statutes of what we can enforce for being a child or for being a minor.
Can I ask a question to DA Donnelly? Does your office try a lot of cases that are like this?
We try a lot of sex crimes. These types of cases typically are put together so well that we don't have to try them. But if necessary, we certainly will, because the evidence supports what happened here.
So does your office see a lot of crimes like this?
because this was a specialized operation, and it really takes a specialized operation to have these types of crimes, we only see it when we see these specialized operations. Do we have a lot of crimes against children? Absolutely, ranging from child molestation to enticing, other things, child pornography. We are routinely getting in child pornography cases because there are notifications that are sent to ICAC, and then it comes to us if they are arrested, if they find that they have downloaded child pornography. One of the things to say about this case is, while not minimizing child pornography, which we prosecute to the fullest extent of the law, but these are folks who acted. They went to a specific location to meet a child, oftentimes to exchange money for sexual activity. So they acted. They didn't just look at it, they acted.
Yeah, Joe.
Yes.
One thing when you have specialized operations like this, some people will claim there was entrapment. Can you kind of describe to people who might say that how this is not entrapment?
Well, as Agent Johnson was saying before, in this operation, we used individuals who were specifically trained to be able to carry on chats in a way that would not lead to entrapment. So in every case, the perpetrator initiated the conversation with the child. The perpetrator started talking about sex. And that's where it can get into a gray area, but in this case, it's all recorded. We know what is being said back and forth over these internet websites. And so we pay special attention to stay out of the entrapment area, because we don't want to entice somebody. That's not the goal.
And I have a question for Countryman.
All right.
Sheriff Countryman, seeing how many people that were arrested in kind of our local area, what does that make your office kind of, I guess, what are the next steps for your office, seeing how many people were arrested in this that were close to our community?
Well, for the past 2 months that we've been making cases involving sexual predators. If you know, earlier in the month, we arrested a very well-known citizen within for child pornography, and we take these type of cases very seriously. This means that we have our work cut out for us, and as I said earlier, we're not going to stop this effort until they stop preying on our children. Is it a wake-up call? Absolutely. Does it mean that we have to have all boots on the ground? Absolutely, but we are committed to this fight because we are committed to have a safer Muskogee County. We are committed to our LE partners, and we had 12 agencies working on this. And the good thing about it is that we have the resources, we have the collaboration, and combined with our resources, we can get a lot done rather than it just being a Muskogee County Sheriff's Office effort. Were there any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you all for coming out. God bless you.